Hey Bridget,
Hey Hetty, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? How have you been?
I've been about as good as I can be with
Yeah.
we're still getting snow. Like it's going to be
What?
April. Yeah. It's spring is happening and we're still getting snow. So that is definitely taking a toll. I am not a snow queen. It is not my favorite kind of weather, but
Oh,
besides
same.
that, everything is okay.
But wait, sorry, remind me where you are again in the States.
So I'm in central New York. So I'm like four
Uh,
hours driving northwest of New York City. Um,
mm-hmm.
the area is very rural and there's lots of like hills. We're on a lake. So it's cold. I'm actually closer to Canada than New York City by like an hour.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
way up here, it is cold. It is snowy. Do you get a lot of snow in London?
I feel like to be fair, we did have like a little bit of snow, I think earlier this month, which was kind of like, what? Like, where is spring? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think because especially central London, because it's so busy, like all the traffic and cars and just I think it's like too warm for it to like properly settle, like
Mm.
when people start going to work and stuff. And also for me, I hate snow in London. It's like pretty for like 10 minutes, but then it just goes like brown and disgusting and like the pollution and oh no, and it's just slippery and horrible. No, not for me. No, thank you. But
I fully agree, but
mhm.
we're dealing with it here. It is what it is. It'll be spring soon, is what I keep telling myself.
Yes, and also Easter. So I don't know about in America, but like Easter eggs are massive in the UK, like the proper chocolate ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stop eating Kinder eggs. I'm so obsessed.
Girl, those, we don't have them here.
Kinder eggs.
Yeah, any eggs or any like chocolate situation that has non-edible things inside are like illegal in the US.
What?
Yeah,
So like what? But like that's so crazy. So for me, like so the Easter eggs, because inside you often yeah, sometimes you have like something inside, but in America you can't have anything inside.
no, it's like a choking hazard, and Americans are known for like lawsuits, right? Like filing
Mm.
lawsuits over anything in order to try and get money from corporations. So, yeah, if you can't have like chocolate encasing something that isn't edible.
That's especially considering some things that are legal in America. It's so crazy. You know what I mean? Thinking like Kinder Egg is like the real threat
Yeah,
here.
that's where we draw the
So
line. Like
yeah.
it's so weird. But so typically what parents will do, like or
Mm,
people that are doing like an Easter egg hunt for little kids, we have plastic
mm.
eggs. And so you like put your own little treats inside the plastic eggs
Oh,
because the
yeah, yeah,
plastic eggs
yeah.
aren't edible, and so nobody like accidentally swallows whatever's inside. But yeah, there used
Mm.
to be these things called like Wonder Balls too, which were very similar in like it was like a chocolate ball and it would have a little prize inside. Those are a thing of the past for the same situation. It's very strange.
Wow.
Yeah, like we'll put
Yeah.
different chemicals and like other things in our food that is not legal in Europe. But when it
Mm.
comes to toys and fun little things, we can't have it.
That's where you draw the line. But well, to be honest, that brings us nicely onto today's topic. I thought it'd be quite interesting to compare, especially the UK and America. There are some things that are okay in the UK, but are like illegal in America, and like vice versa. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Kinder eggs, that is one thing I
Add
did
it
not
to the
expect.
list.
Add it, yes, add it to the list as we speak. But
Learn something new every day.
wow. I was thinking more like I didn't even know there was a word for this. But do you know jaywalking?
Yeah, girl. We can't do it here. Technically, I mean, there's,
Really?
yeah, like there are some cities or, some areas where it's more,
Mm.
like normalized. I don't know. That's probably not the
Yeah.
right word for it, but where people like will just do it. But yeah, you can technically, like, if you're hit by a car and you're not within a certain, like, distance of the crosswalk,
Yeah.
which I know y'all call it, like, the zebra.
Oh, a zebra crossing. Yeah.
Zebra. Dead.
Zebra.
Zebra crossing. Yeah, if you're not within a certain distance, and I don't know exactly what it is, and it's probably different in every state, but yeah, then it's like your fault for getting hit by a car. Pedestrians have the right of way in crosswalks, but not outside of crosswalks.
Oh my God. Because, yeah, to be honest, I didn't even consider this. So, just in case anyone listening doesn't know, so jaywalking is just basically crossing the road, like not at a crossing, and also when it's not green, like when it's not okay to go, which in the UK we just call crossing the road. So, I didn't know that it was illegal. So, especially when we were in Korea, this is one thing I was worried about because I was like, oh my God, is it? Can I cross the road or no? And
well, it's interesting to, like, in the US, I think college campuses are different. It's either, like, it's actually different on college campuses, or college students are just like, hit me. But because, for the most part, campuses are, like, some of the only places in America that are walkable communities, then cars are, like, they're supposed to yield everywhere for students or for pedestrians. But, like, regular old streets, no, it's... you should be in the zebra crossing.
wow.
And going on the right time. And yeah, it's definitely more serious. But I will say it's, so like, the UK is the most lenient as far as my experience. America is like middle of the road, or the US is the middle of the road. And then Korea was very serious. Like, I would never, even if it was like 6 a.m., like if nobody else was around, I would not cross the road unless, like, I saw a local do it first.
I didn't, yeah, because I'm not sure if it's actually, that's one thing I should look up. So I'm not sure if it's illegal in Korea, but I did exactly the same thing. Like, especially even if it was like an ajashi crossing the road, and I'm like, okay, are they crossing the road because they're allowed to, or is it just because it's like an ajashi? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, well, I think because community standards are so different, right? Like, you're gonna do you want to do exactly the same thing that the person next to you is doing. So if they did it, I would do it. But
yeah,
I was never the first person.
Yeah, and because I've heard in, like, some countries, jaywalking is super, super serious, so that you can, like, go to jail. So, yeah, so that's why I was terrified. But, one thing I did Google very quickly. So, jaywalking, apparently it is illegal on, okay, I think you call them highways in America, but for us, like, the motorway, like, the big roads. So it is illegal to walk across there. But it's so, like, rural. I never see people anyway in those areas. So
yeah,
it would be, yeah.
I feel like the only time people are walking in those areas are if, like, their car broke down and they're walking to the next, like, station to get help.
Yeah.
Interesting. Look at us learning so many new things.
Yeah, and another thing I found quite surprising. So, casinos, I didn't realize that apparently they're, like, I don't know, like, illegal?
Yeah, gambling is, there's very strict, like, regulations around gambling in the US. So casinos can, I want to say, like, they're only in very particular areas. Most of them are on, like, indigenous land, because they're not under the same regulations as, like, the states. But yeah, there's, like, it's very much, you can only gamble in, like, these certain areas, and you have to, like, meet the age requirements and all of these things. It's like,
wow. Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, even, like, so I live fairly close to Stratford Westfield, which I don't know if you had a chance to go to while you're in London, but it's a very, very big shopping mall. I think it's supposed to be, like, the biggest in Europe, and there's, like, a casino there. And to me, like, I always see, like, just on high streets and stuff, there are loads of gambling places. And so I just, it never occurred to me that that's not, like, legal everywhere in America.
No, and so I went on a cruise a couple months ago, which left out of Florida, so it left out of, like, the continental U.S. The casino on the cruise was closed while we were in port. And then once we got into international waters, then it would open, and it was kind of a free-for-all.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
What?
So like you can't technically gamble. Like there's very specific places that you can gamble
Yeah.
within the US, but like anything goes in international waters.
What? That's
Yeah.
wow. But also, okay, one thing that's I think a lot of people know about, and I've heard that some Americans they'll come to Europe specifically for this. Because the drinking age in America is 21, right?
Yes, it is.
What? Like, so I've heard that sometimes Americans, they like to come to Europe because I think, especially in the UK, I think it's, I mean, obviously people drink before they're 18, but I think the legal drinking
Legally.
age is like, yeah.
Yeah, so that's very much a thing for US like college students when they're studying abroad, right? Because typical time to study abroad, and this is not like across the board, but usually for us is sophomore or junior year, right? Which is your second or third year of uni.
Yeah.
And most students at that time are under the age of 21. So when you go to Europe or most other places in the world, it's 18. So you can legally drink there. This happened to my younger brother. He could legally drink. He studied in Spain for his whole junior year, so he could legally drink. He came back to the U.S. His birthday's at the end of May, so he came back to the U.S. like mid-May and had 2 weeks before he legally turned 21, where he was like, I've been drinking for the last year and I can't,
Wow.
legally can't do it here. So it was a whole to-do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it leads to so many other issues, which we don't need to get into, but yes, it's 21 in all of the states, and I'm pretty sure smoking, like tobacco smoking, has also in most states gone up to 21 as well.
Wow. To be honest, I'm not too sure of the smoking age in the UK. I feel like it's more about buying cigarettes than smoking them. I think that's what the problem is. And so, yeah, but to be honest, I feel like in the UK, I'd be put off anyway. So I don't know if you remember, but in the UK, the cigarette packets, I don't know if, I think it's part of the law, but they're very graphic. So,
yeah. I remember the first time I saw them, I was shocked because we don't have those in the US, which is also super interesting. This is like anecdotal, but I saw there's way more people that smoke in the UK, right? Like especially younger people, like people around our age.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people who smoke cigarettes in the UK, like publicly, than there are in the US, but the UK has the scary pictures and the US doesn't, which I think is so interesting.
Yeah, and so you'd think that people would be deterred by like, and I don't know if anyone listening has seen what our cigarette packets look like, but it's like they'll be showing really graphic like lung
holes in a
diseases,
throat.
yeah, like like really graphic. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I guess it just doesn't faze anyone. So
it's so interesting. And also in the US, like we have warning labels on, they're not necessarily graphic, but warning labels on everything. Like the plastic that comes around anything that you buy, right? Like that plastic coating will have like warning, do not eat, or warning, like is a choking hazard. Yeah, again, because we I'm saying we as in like North Americans or Americans like as a society are
they love to
happy. Yeah, they love to file lawsuits. And so we have warning labels on lots of things, but not graphically on cigarettes.
Wow.
And I don't know the rhyme or reason, but the math ain't mathin'. It's very strange to me.
And one more thing. So I've heard this has become legal in some states now, but very hot topic, marijuana or weed or wacky backy, whatever you want to call it.
So
I feel like I just sounded like a middle-aged person just then, like.
Absolutely did. That was so cute. Yeah, it's slowly becoming legalized in more and more states. There are lots of rules, and I do not know a lot of them because I spend most of my time in New York and Massachusetts, where it is like recreationally legal as of right now. And there's still like this dispensaries where you can buy recreational marijuana. You have to have your ID and be over 21 years old. They're more at least in my experience, they're more strict about checking it there. They like scan it and do all of the things, and you often have to show it like more than once. When you first get into the dispensary, and then when you buy, you also have to show it again, as if you were to like change identities during the time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that's a thing, and there are definitely rules about like bringing it across state borders and things like that. But yeah, it's you can just like go to the weed store like you go to the liquor store.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I think in the UK it's not legalized. I want to say yet, because I feel like it's kind of on its way.
Yeah.
Because I think fairly recently they started legalizing oh gosh, I can't think of the component inside it. So you can get like the special. Yes.
Mm-hmm,
so I think you can get like special drops and stuff. So they have like candy and sweets. But yeah, so. But that, I think, is still illegal in Korea. And because I know in Korea, drugs are, like, serious.
Yes.
But,
and it wasn't even a thing. Not that I, like, was out being like, hey, who's got weed? But it was never, like, I don't know, going out even to, like, bars or clubs in the U.S., like, one, you can either smell it, or two, like, you can be talking about it, like, it's offered, like, it's more accessible, and that in my 2 years in Korea, like, nobody ever offered or was like, oh, we're gonna go smoke some weed. Like, it's not common to have at all, probably because there are so many like legal implications for getting caught with it.
Because in the UK, I think with the UK we have different like drug classes, so the punishment, it like depends on like the class of drug. So weed, for example, weed is not like in the same class as I think like, you know, like meth or like cocaine or something. So yeah, but I have a feeling, especially because now CBD, that is what I was thinking of. I was like, it's 3 letters, I just can't, it's not coming to me. But yeah, CBD oil and stuff, there are so many, especially since I came back to London, like now there are so many shops that have like popped up everywhere selling like CBD like tea. And so yeah, I feel like, and to be honest, in London you smell weed everywhere anyway. Like you know what I mean? So it's like technically illegal, but it's everywhere. So
it's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely like pockets of the US. It's become just more and more typical, and there of course are people who are like mad about it and have different feelings. There is a lot being said here too about, okay, so we're like legalizing recreational marijuana, but there are so many people who have been in jail or in prison for years and decades and very long extended periods of time for crimes that would now be legal in some states, right? So that is a big topic of discussion in the US around how do we go about this. Like we can't legalize it now and not pardon or try to, we obviously can't be giving people back that time, but what do we do to move forward from this, right? Because people should not be in jail for crimes that are now legal. So, so that's a whole like other element of it too, right? And it's not a federal thing yet. I would be shocked if at some point it doesn't become like federally regulated, but that's where we're at now. Even still though, we didn't talk about this, but every state has their own alcohol laws too.
Oh,
so there are certain like,
because I was going to say it makes it so much harder in America because it's like by state. So if you go to America, something you do might be legal in one state, but you cross over. And, oh boy,
like there's some Massachusetts, because they still have like very Puritan laws, right, that have extended, and so they can't do happy hours. Like you can't discount liquor drinks past a certain amount. I don't know the exact law, but no happy hours. You also couldn't buy like alcohol on Sundays until a certain time.
What?
When I was growing up, like they've changed a little bit, but the happy hours is a big thing because like Boston misses out on a lot of that.
My God, it feels a bit like prohibition, because that was a thing in America too.
That
a good like 100 years ago, but
but still, and there are some states that are more like have very strict laws, and some counties where like there's dry counties, and so you can't actually get alcohol in any of that. Like America's just such a, it's not like every state slash district is able to make their own rules as they see fit. So some places in the South will have like booze throughs, so you can literally like drive through stores and just like get alcohol, and that's fine. But other states, it's way more difficult. Like it's super interesting.
Wow. So I think like the biggest takeaway from today's episode is if you go to America, check everything first because you don't want to get sued, and things are different in every state, and America is very, very big. Yes. And in the UK, I feel like things are a little bit more lenient, but people just don't care. So
yeah.
But thank you so much, Bridget. It's been kind of a big topic, so we've only like very briefly discussed like certain points, but we could go on for hours about this. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. I feel like I learned a lot today.
Yeah, I'm so shocked about the Kinder eggs. So yeah, thank you so much, Bridget.
Thanks,
and
Penny.
Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.